Reggie?
Yeah, they can hear us now. We should be let's do an audio check.
Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2.
How does audio sound? Oh, great.
Your audio sounds crispy. And
Liberty's on Tuesday.
Well.
Yes, it is.
One, technically, potentially 2 times only.
No, it'll definitely be 2 times at least. 2 more times.
2 more times only.
Yeah, I'm gone the next 2 Thursdays.
Thursdays are just an illusion.
Unfortunately. Welcome to the Blue Rubies Podcast, episode number 207. I'm Adrian. David's here.
Hell yeah.
No one this week. Shout out to Jordan. That was a fun little way of walking him through how to soberly comprehend what was going on.
That was a night.
That was indeed a night. Back in the chat, saying it's on Tuesday. It is on Tuesday. Blue Rubies will be on Tuesday for the next 2 weeks at least. I believe we're gonna swap around the actual permanent day of Blue Rupees, but for now it's just gonna be on Tuesday next 2 weeks at least. Also, we're if you didn't check out last episode, we'll just kick this off and just say we're booting up Games Gone By, starting up in August again. I believe
it'll be Games Gone By.
Yeah. I believe we mentioned that Mondays are the best day. I think I don't mind recording Mondays. That sounds fine with me.
Yeah.
Have the weekend to compile everything and then just get it all done out of the way. Yeah. You can kind of mention it, advertise it on the next episode. I feel like that's good. So I think the tentative days for recording Games Gone By will be on Monday. Those will be separate from Blue Rupees from now on. Separate channel, everything. All the Games Gone By episodes on my channel will be unlisted when the new channel goes up. So if you want them, just keep them somewhere safe, and then they'll get re-uploaded in time through the new channel. I'm still figuring out a way to do that. It's really hard to reboot something, and then you're just fighting the YouTube algorithm. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, but we're gonna try our best to just like make this thing as solid as we can. So yeah, speaking of, let's talk about the games again. When will they be unlisted? When the new channel goes up. Just because I don't want there to be like 3 different listings of Games Gone By, or you have to go to multiple channels. I'm just going to unlist them all at once. Then they will be periodically going back up as an archive. Maybe like there would probably be 2, or there'll be the whole Games Gone By every week as we upload the old episodes. But I got to figure out a nuanced or like nice little way of advertising these are old episodes just going back up, right? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's see. I hope someone downloads all those videos and trains it on a voice AI. We can get AI Big Dave. There is a I gotta look it up. There is a app that you can use to like submit. Yeah, that's exactly what you're saying. So, because someone has already made like an AI Darkside Phil, I think, which
Beautiful.
I would love to just have him on the podcast. That'd be great. AI Darkside Phil.
AI Side Phil.
Yeah, there you go. What's up, Kels? So let's talk about these Games Gone By games really quick. So mid-August will be Alan Wake. End of August will be Alan Wake's American Nightmare. September will be Resident Evil 7. Mid-October will be Iron Lung. End of October will be Silent Hill. Nier Replicant will be November. Will be The Beginner's Guide. January, Persona 5 Royal. Shout out to Kels. Kels locked that spot in real quick. This is actually Jordan. Shouts to Black Mesa today. As of today, as of 4 days ago, they hit 90,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam.
Hell
so,
yeah.
Good shit to them. So we'll be playing Black Mesa on February. March, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. Mid-April, Cook Serve Delicious. End of April, Enter the Gungeon. May will be a fan vote month. We'll get closer to that and give you guys some nominations. Yakuza 0 will be in June, and Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney will be July. Banger year still. And we actually, one of the games that was just like edge of the cutoff, I don't know what I guess like just barely got cut off because we had to squeeze in some games. Shout out to Lisa that hit us with our reverse curse. We have a nice little way of, I guess, whenever we mention a game's gone by game that's just been MIA, it's we just have that way of just bringing it back somehow, some way.
Resurrect old shit. Although nothing ever came of Def Jam.
No, that's bullshit. I'm still upset about that. I'm actually upset about that. That's some bullshit. I still count that as happening because it's like we almost willed it, and then it still goes to make sense because we stopped doing games gone by before we got to Beyond Good and Evil, and shouts to Beyond Good and Evil still not a thing.
It'll never happen now.
No. Shouts to Gore. But yeah, if any of those sound interesting to you, message me on Twitter. Talk to me. I'm down to get up to like 4 people on per episode. We have a few people locked in on certain episodes or certain games. If any of those really speak to you and you're either like a big fan or that's like a game you've been like eager to finish and you really want to get to, let me know. But I'm excited for like all those games. We mentioned it last time, but like each of those games is a game that I'm like, I want to play that like now. Like I'm okay just doing that. But this year's actually like a banger year though too. So I'm like eager to get shit done as well. I'm like making my way through and we're segueing hard, but whatever. I'm making my way through Tears of the Kingdom as best as ADHD I can. Because I just get distracted and it's hard to just like throw me into a fucking world and say go because I just get overwhelmed and I just don't want to do it. Yeah. So I'm still on that like the first area. You haven't played it, but I'm still in the very first area. I tried to open that temple. They said, all right, now you gotta go do this thing, and I'm just having to figure out my way around. And the cool thing about Breath of the Wild and now Tears of the Kingdom is that my backwards ass way of doing things just happens to work as well. The cool thing is like it's not so set in stone that you have to do it a certain way. A lot of times there's like other ways to do it. So like I went this whole fucking weird way to get into this mountainside thing where it was cold and did this whole ordeal to get through there. And after that, I climbed all the way down, found like a nice little perfect crevice to like land in, got through this whole weird backwards way, and then I get to this one corner and there's a person, they're like, hey, here's a raft with the jet thing on it. You want to use this to cross the river? And I went through it backwards. So I had gone through it the whole opposite way I was supposed to, and I could have had a much easier way the other side, but that's just how I do things, and that's why like with Fallout 3, I got fucked in there because it's just too open. Everything is too open, I get fucked in. So Tears of the Kingdom is gonna be a long endeavor, so I don't mind kind of sprinkling other games too while I'm at it, because I've been eyeballing Dead Island 2. That's been speaking to me lately. I've been really wanting to play that. Dead Space is still there. I need to finish that. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Jedi Survivor, so I want to get through Fallen Order now. There's a lot. This is gonna be a really good year. I mean, granted, like
this is a stacked year.
Granted, like Game of the Year is gonna be Tears of the Kingdom. But like, if it wasn't for Tears of the Kingdom, it'd be kind of a free for all. Like Diablo, whether or not I know you have your stance on it, but we can say what we say is that it's getting like massive acclaim across the board right now. So it's kind of crazy, and we still got like Armored Core coming up here, Spider-Man 2. Pikmin's still supposed to come out. I keep forgetting Pikmin's a thing. So it's crazy. But Big Dave and I have been playing a certain game that's actually like pretty shot up there on the top of the list right now. I'm really fucking loving Street Fighter 6 right now.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Oh, hey, my camera's frozen on the. Oh wait, no, I just was really still. All right. I'm sitting there watching the feed to see if there anything goes.
Yeah, you just haven't moved.
The camera froze.
The camera's on.
No, fucking. My issues with the DRM and my issues with the monetization aside, It's definitely the most solid Street Fighter game, especially at launch, we've had in a very fucking long time. As much as Street Fighter 4 was important for revitalizing the fighting game boom, that game at launch was not the most solid experience. That was some jank ass shit.
Street Fighter
And
4 was super cool at launch, but it wasn't until like I think Ultra Street Fighter 4 where everything really took off, right? Am I crazy or am I misremembering?
Arcade Edition is where it really hit its stride. And then Ultra was like, all right, here's fucking everything.
Are you mixing that up?
And Ultra was the last release for it. So when Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4, Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition, and
Okay, it was the second iteration I'm thinking of though, where it was like the first iteration was it was what it was, but the second one where it's like everyone started picking it up, I felt.
yeah, people started paying attention to it a bit more in Super, but I feel like it wasn't until Arcade Edition that I was like, okay, this is peak Street Fighter now.
Sure. But
it still required the iterative process.
right.
Whereas this felt really solid. I've played around with a few of the cast members. I started actually using one of the newcomers there. What's her name? Marissa, I think is her name, the Spartan girl there.
Yeah.
I actually really dig her playstyle. There's not a bad playstyle amongst the cast. There's definitely characters that are still not my cup of tea, but I don't think there's any unbalanced character in the lot thus far.
Right. So this is my first foray into Street Fighter proper. Like I've played Street Fighter for sure. I've owned Street Fighters, and we've even played it for a couple of Friday streams when we used to do those way back when.
Yeah.
But I didn't really like it. I wasn't really digging it. I've always been a Tekken kid. Tekken's been my fighting game. Every other fighting game be damned. Yeah, Smash, a party game, but no, I mean like it is, but also I mean the fundamentals of Smash have literally carried me to be decent, just even not knowing what the fuck I'm doing in Street Fighter. Just like, all right, well,
I like the meme that Smash is not a fighting game, but I do think it's disingenuous to not recognize it as such.
right, because it is. It's like you're using all the fundamentals you are of fighting games in that game, and again, like I'm not good at Street Fighter, but like it's carried me to be decent out the gate, right? Like I'm improving, and this is my first time actively trying to figure out classic controls. Every time I load up a fucking fighting game, it's daunting as shit. You just see like arrows pointing all over the place, and here's just a long ass fucking move list. And I can
especially
imagine
where. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go for it.
I was gonna say because especially where like Tekken has obscene move lists, but Tekken is really great in that once you understand that each button is a limb, experiment. Like it's very open to just fucking around and finding out. Like you don't need to know any of that shit to figure out your character in Tekken.
Agreed. And the cool thing is as well is that you kind of stumble across your own moves in Tekken. You can just literally people do button mash in Tekken for sure, but like that's where you like, oh wait, if I button mash this way, and you just end up pushing the controls the correct way. Whereas like you have to be more intentional in Street Fighter. Every combo or every input is intentional, and you have to be ready for it. You can't button mash as freely. Yeah, I mean, at launch, the launch meta is never correct, right? Like it's always some weird, bizarre way, and there's always going to be some mashing and some weird shit that gets wrong there. But like once people get more nuanced and more understanding of everything, you don't get away with that stuff.
Yeah,
so
and it's also not fair in your case because you haven't spent your entire life expecting wake up DP. So
yeah, I did when I fought Ryu in Smash 4, literally like that was literally a thing that would always happen. Is I'd be ready and then just it'd be wake up Shoryuken. Kel says, I remember playing Eddie the first time and hitting the breakdance combo, pure serotonin. Yeah, you know it.
Yeah.
Tekken's gonna be a beast too. But I am this is my time, I think, and especially because PC fighting game is kind of like on a thriving note. Like everyone used to be console, but like PC's kind of the place now. Yeah.
Straight up, like Evo's running pretty much everything on PCs now,
which is great. And then also not having to rebuy a stick for these new consoles, which is bullshit. I hate that. The fact that like none of these sticks work on my next consoles is so fucking lame. So it's like I'm set to go on the PC. Go ahead.
Next time we play, I might switch to using the stick again.
I'm
go back and forth.
I'm liking it, and I'm ready to get used to it, because especially with Mortal Kombat, especially with Tekken, I'm in now. Like I'm getting it, and
you're picking up Mortal Kombat day one.
I think so. Like I've fighting games. It's fun to get in right at the ground floor. I feel like it's cool when you get on started with everything, because once you miss that initial burst, it's hard to want to get back into, because you're so far behind. But also it's among the easy games for me to want to keep playing, because it's like that one more game factor, one more game. But yeah, so we've been playing that. I got my fair serving of frustrations, just because like it's hard for me to enjoy playing a game when I know what I'm doing. I just can't do it, and I'm getting mad at myself. I'm not pulling a DSP and saying it's the game. It's definitely a me thing. I do think that lag has to do with it too, just because I'm not used to that. Like I showed you, like I'm doing like random like just like kicks out of nowhere, but then I pop into training mode and I'm doing it consistently like 4 or 5 times, 6 times, 7 times in a row.
There definitely is something fucky with the connections a bit though.
A little bit though, like our connection's weird. I don't know why. Like we should be popping off. We always had a NAT issue. Is it us or is it me and someone else? I could have sworn like we always had like a NAT issue with ours for some reason.
I don't think it was you and I, but I mean it's definitely weird in this case, because I have gigabit internet right now. This Thursday I'll have 2 gig symmetrical.
Hell yeah,
be beautiful. But I mean I got a gigabit down and I got 40 up. So I mean not phenomenal up, but I still have fantastic upload compared to most. And I think
that's
exactly right.
I'm exactly the same. I'm a gig up, 40 down.
So there's literally no reason why we should.
And we're both wired.
Issues. Yeah.
So I don't know. But I also think it's my inputs in game and movement wise aren't meshing with the controls, which I've discovered. So I spend a little more time in the training room and notice that when I'm walking, I'm not going neutral a lot, or I need to go more neutral when I'm inputting. So like when I'm doing yeah, so you told me to pick up Cammy. I'm picking up Cammy. And good call. Like Cammy is definitely the character that I think I like to play as a lot. I am gonna pick up some other characters. I want to at least pick up like one more, like someone with a projectile, just in case. But I picked up Cammy, and you saw me doing the I don't know what the moves are. Her up kick, her anti-air up kick.
Oh, the cannon spike.
Cannon spike. I would do that a lot when I meant Sparrow, the kick ahead. But I realized I kept doing that because I would go from holding forward into the quarter circle, but it's inputting a zigzag. So I'm not used to reverting back to neutral. So I started kind of trying to like more conscientiously pick that up, and I've been doing more combos and finishing off with supers now, which is good. So I jumped into ranked mode. What rank are you right now?
I haven't done ranked at all yet.
So I've been popping in a ranked. I'm like Iron 4-star right now, Iron 3 or 4-star, which is not bad. It's like the very beginning. It's like beginner, and then you go into Iron. That's where you can start go up or down. Yeah, basic fundamentals, I'm getting there. Pretty close game so far, but I'm hoping to get through. Like I want to make this the game where I can start pushing in and play a little more competitively. I would love to do like a tournament at some point for this.
Same.
Because I'm just like really actually enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. Some characters, like there's not really and the fun thing about a fighting game at the beginning is there's no DLC, and DLC is always what fucks games up like this. It's always like the devs introduce something and it's fucked.
That's just it. And we already know who our DLC characters are gonna be, and if Akuma and Rashid are anything like they were with prior iterations, it's gonna be a turbulent time.
Yeah, so like right now I'm just trying to take in like the crispness of it like we all know the characters. I think I've played everyone at least once at this point now. I want to say, and aside from JD, everyone's pretty straightforward. JD kind of fucks me up because it's like, how the fuck do I approach without a projectile? I gotta just fucking run the fuck in.
Cammy has two primary tools for that. Her spinning knuckle, flat lines across fireballs, so that's your primary evasive tool. The other thing is just basically shimmying through.
Yeah, so I need to do the combo trials. I haven't done the combo trials, and I hear they're really fun too. So
I tinkered with some of them. The thing that was fucking me up is I couldn't figure out how to turn on the inputs to show me what I'm supposed to do. So what I've just been doing is having it play what it's supposed to do, jotting down the inputs, and then doing it.
Interesting. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm hearing they're pretty fun now. And then I tried a little bit of World Tour. I'm on a little bit after Chun-Li's part. Definitely, we talked about it. It's definitely Yakuza in a way. It's just like the world of Yakuza in a way, but it's Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Super fun. Not something I'm gonna like go after once I finish everything, but it's a cool game to kind of fuck around in right now every once in a while too. I hate modern controls.
I'm trying to make it. Well, I mean, you don't need to be on the modern controls anymore.
I'm that bitch right now where it's like I hate that I hate that people do modern controls because I'm like, fuck you, easy mode motherfucker. It's not, and I want to make everyone feel bad about it, but I'm gonna talk my shit.
Fair.
Like if I see an M above you and you beat me, you didn't beat me. You did not beat me.
I mean, to be fair, they do get 20% damage reduction using.
No, they do. Like I said, it should be 25, but you know. No, I think it's good that you let people play the. I think you let people play the way they could play and let them do the beginning because they're going to be out. Like they're either going to like to play the game and they're going to do their thing and they're going to leave and do the next thing, or they're going to stick around. But I just genuinely don't think long run modern control is the way to do it.
No, but I do think that for the casual, it's hyper important. Although I will say there is one instance where I'm like, this is fucking absurd when it comes to casual ability, which is the fact that modern controls give Zangief a one-button fucking spinning pile driver.
Wonderful.
So instead of having to do... So the move I was using on you a lot when I was playing against you with Zangief, that's a full 360 motion followed by an input.
I've heard people say that it's not too far from it's not too far from what you can do on your own already though. It's like it's really you still
I think people take for granted that because it's one of those things that a full 360 motion is very hard for beginners to pick up without just constantly jumping in between the input, which is something I see a lot of beginners do. Because I've taught a couple of buddies of mine that weren't really, honestly, kind of a similar situation. They were more into Tekken than they were like Street Fighter, but I got them into Skullgirls at one point. They seemed to click with that. And that was the big thing for them is they would always end up jumping mid 360. And I think that's something that the FGC kind of takes for granted from years of remembering how to do things. Is that is a very hard amateur thing to do.
Yeah, I agree. It is hard to get to it, but again, I think in the long run, losing that much damage when you could probably do the same exact thing just with practice enough of it. I just don't think modern controls are the long-term way. The modern controls are the short-term way to enjoy the game right now and do your thing, and totally by all means. But if you're looking to play the game long-term, I just don't see why. I just don't see.
Oh yeah, no, definitely in that regard. If you're gonna stick with the game for more than a few months, you should be trying to learn it on classic.
Yeah, but to that effect too, modern is a fantastic way to try new characters without investing your whole life into it. So I imagine I'll probably try modern just to test people out, see what I feel, and then after that, try to book into it. I just don't want to spend too much time learning a character twice, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense.
But yeah, so far I'm just really liking the game. It's really, really fun. The vibe of it's really cool. Each character, there's like no dumb character. Like I said, like earlier, like DLC's gonna fuck it up, I'm sure, but like there's no character that I'm like, fuck. At least now, we'll see when people start refining their things, but it's fun.
Manon has been an interesting character to fight, but it's just because it's an entirely new character.
Is JD new?
Yeah, JD is completely new.
Yeah, he's the one that's fucking me up right now, just because like I'm not used to like long screen projectiles, and especially when they're command grabs too.
Yeah.
Seeing as I play Mega Man and Smash, I'm like I might just pick up a zoner for the sake of it too. So that's been someone I'm thinking of.
JP, from what I've read up on, seems like a really fun character, but is someone that is intensely input heavy, so it's very hard to pick up.
Right. I can see that being your annoying character once they get really good, though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what else have I been playing? It's only been a couple days, so nothing else. What you been playing, David?
I've been playing that and a little bit of Unreal Gold. I got my Windows XP laptop all set up and running, and I really didn't want to go back into Deedlit and Wonderland just because I'm still frustrated with that boss rush mode. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to enjoy some fucking Windows XP gaming goodness. So I played some Unreal Gold, played a few rounds of Deathmatch in that, had a blast with that. Played a little bit of Beyond Atlantis, enjoyed that quite a bit. Otherwise than that's I think about it. Yeah, I think that's the only thing of relevance I would say for that.
We gotta figure out a schedule of these streams and see which ones you're gonna be able to hop on. We should do that now because this is gonna be a pretty short episode. Let's see. Capcom Showcase. Do you know what any of these are, David?
No.
Let's schedule out now. Capcom Showcase is gonna be.
I'm gonna preemptively tell you, unless I happen to be working from home, which is a rarity right now. If it's any time between 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, I'm probably not gonna be able to make it.
The Capcom is at 6 p.m. Eastern.
I would just be getting through the door.
All right, we can if you're able to hop on like right when you get in, we can watch that. I don't mind.
I'm gonna say unless it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, you're probably not gonna be able to get me on.
All right, so let's see. That's Capcom, Devolver. That's the blessing of work and education. I can just do whatever I want during the summer for this. Oh shit. Summer Game Fest is on Friday. Yeah. Okay, Summer Game Fest is Friday. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern. Devolver Digital's at 6 p.m. Eastern. Xbox Bethesda, that's the one you should be able to make because that's on a weekend. Isn't it? No, never mind. No, never mind. It's Monday. That's on Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Wholesome Games is on Sunday. Future Game Show's on Sunday. The Wholesome Direct's pretty fun.
Wholesome Direct's can be okay.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of it's more like you just hang out and watch it, and something might catch your eye, and you want to mark it down. But the Future Game Show's on Sunday.
It's true.
Let's see, 12:30 for Wholesome Direct, 3 p.m. for Future Game Show if you're interested in either of those. I'll probably be on streaming some of these. I don't see why not. I'm gonna bookmark this actually because I don't know. Here we go. Cool. You know what? Let's do that right. We kind of came to this impromptu. You want to do a predictions for Xbox?
Sure. I predict they have nothing to fucking show other than saying Starfield.
Well, here's the thing with Xbox showcases always is temperaments. Make sure we keep them. If we remember what last one's gimmick was, quote unquote, was that every game they showed was coming out within the next 12 months. That obviously didn't happen because Starfield and stuff like Hollow Knight didn't end up coming out. But a lot of them did. But here is one thing that was mentioned, which is going to be a good thing for us regardless. It is that, let's see, where is this at? I want to find this exact. Aaron Greenberg, the one of the people at Xbox, says, none of our first-party games in the show are full CG trailers. Everything is either in-game footage, in-engine footage, or in-game footage with some cinematics. Each of our trailers will be labeled, so it is hopefully clear for our fans. Because people were upset at the PlayStation 1 for not showing that much gameplay, which I thought that I'm thinking back. I was like, I could have sworn we just had a lot of gameplay, but I guess
quite a bit. But
I guess when you think about like Metal Gear and stuff like that, yeah, we just got just a
what the fuck do you expect? It's clearly just started development, like
right. But so there is going to be a lot of that, and then I've been hearing some rumblings saying that they're going to bring back some games that we've been wanting, which I hear all the time. Literally at this point, y'all. At this point,
if it ain't Kung Fu Chaos, it's bust.
And you know what? You just add that. I'll just say two things, but there are three things. Let me make a notes. Let's see. I want us to make some predictions.
All right, so I'll come up with 5 predictions real quick.
Cool. I'll come with them as well. You want to hear a really? I'll wait. I'll let you think first. I don't want to ruin your multitasking. Let's see. You want to do just 5 each?
Yeah.
Okay. 5 each, and then have your banger showstopper.
All right.
Let's see. What would be the showstopper? What would be the showstopper? Okay.
All right, I'm good when you are.
All right. So really quick, I think Clobright, I keep forgetting their name. An Xbox fan account had the fucking best idea, I think. You had Astrobot on PlayStation, right?
Yep.
Why is there not like a really goofy like 3 platformer Conquer going through every Xbox universe and making just obscene jokes about everything?
Very good question.
I feel like that's just a slam dunk idea, right? Like he's just gonna joke about every fucking thing about everything. He like hops into the Forza world, almost gets like his fucking tail ran over or something, and just like anything like that would just be so good. All right, start me off, David. What's your first one? Let's save the banger for last.
My first one is I think there's gonna be a reminders kind of showcase where maybe 7 minutes or so is gonna be dedicated.
What happened to this game?
Yeah, by the way, we still got Fable 4 in the works, and Perfect Dark in the works, and Starbound's coming out pretty soon, maybe? Question mark.
So like the
And
opposite, where it's like, okay, we know that we sent just this whole last year, but quick reminder, here's everything that's going on because we know we fucked up with Redfall, but here's everything else.
exactly. And it'll start it because they want to, again, just be like, hey, we know some shit's gone off, so here you go. Here's the things that we know immediately you guys are going to be asking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 1 minute because I'm gonna get an otter pop.
All right.
Microsoft acquires one studio. What studio is it? This is a part of your prediction.
Ooh.
None of this fucking dumbass Japanese.
No, bringing
studio
back
name.
LJN? It could
No.
happen. Oh.
All right. Fire Studio.
No, because the one I immediately thought of, I just realized was acquired by Embracer Group. So that's definitely not happening.
They'll buy them from them. It's fine. Um.
Ooh, okay. I have a weird one, but I think I have one.
Let's see. I know which one I want to do. Let me just make sure I can. I want to find them first to make sure they're not bought out already. Yeah, I'm gonna do the studio. Okay, you got yours already for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you got reminders showcase, like a 7 minute, 7 and
About,
10 minute.
7
Like
minutes or so.
here's a quick montage, or like really quick, like 2 minutes of every game that we've talked about way back when, because Hellblade, Lord knows.
Exactly.
All right. First up, let's see. You went for a reminder showcase. That makes me curious what the other ones are, because I had a couple returns here. Let's do one of them. I think this is the time Fable gets another trailer.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like as much as, and we talked about during the last episode, that the developers don't want to show anything until they're ready to show shit. I think ultimately Papa Microsoft's gonna be like, hey, we need some fucking goodwill right now. Give us at least a cinematic to show off.
But they just said they can't do. They're not doing. They'll do in-game cinematic.
Yeah, so maybe it's a cutscene from the game. Maybe it's
Maybe.
an in-engine cutscene. Literally a scene from the game.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's time. We can't keep doing this whole thing where we announce stuff so far ahead that we just can't. I hate that.
It's
Big
been
shouts.
4 years.
A lot of it has been. Remember, like Hellblade got shown off, which, to be fair, they prefaced it early with, "Hey, this is something super far, like super early in." But like we've had showcases since then that have had all those games that we've not seen. So I have at least 2 other ones on here that we're going with. One of them being the showstopper. But yeah, I think Fable is showing up. David.
All right. So the second thing I think they're gonna bring to the table is again, I think Microsoft's been cooking. Microsoft didn't promise us anything more would happen, but I think they're gonna go ahead and say, look, we love you guys. We've been cooking. We've been making some deals. Here's a few extra backwards compatible games we were able to make happen.
Because they kind of mentioned that at this point, the only reason they're not is because like they just can't get any more of these.
I think they might go ahead, scrounge a few more extra deals to be able to be like, hey, here's, even if it's just like 10 more games or something like that, like just a couple extras we were able to go ahead and get, and maybe like some of the like really cult classics that are still not there.
How
with
the
also the
fuck do we just not have Kung Fu Chaos? Like, is the IP just like it's fucking Ninja Theory? I guess it was something that was. It has to be like mutually owned or like their publisher from there. I don't know. It's so fucking weird, but I mean they did emphasize it pretty hard. This is our last bit, but I mean they could use the goodwill. Right now is a good time for them to get some brownie points, and backwards compatibility always gets them good praises in the press. So maybe.
I think it also ties into the fact that Microsoft still continues to try to get some Japanese market penetration. I think we could also see even a couple Japanese only releases as part of it, where they're able to go ahead, because I mean the Japanese library had like 30-ish some odd exclusive Xbox titles, a good portion of which were shmups. This would be the perfect time to go ahead and be like, here's the original, Death Smiles, or here's, no, that was 360, but here's some Bullet Aqua or whatever the fuck that game was called, but just a couple of like Japanese exclusives. Fucking Atlas is just like, here's Shin Megami Tensei 9, here you go.
Imagine.
Fucking, that'd be fucking great. But just a couple things to also be like, hey, Japanese audience, we care about you guys too. Just any little extra thing to get attention on that market.
I feel you. All right, this one I'm gonna do another one. Another game. Has been a minute. Pentiment's out. Grounded's out. I think it's time we see Avowed. So. I think Obsidian. I think this is their time to show off that. I can see a world where Obsidian was doing their thing, and maybe Bethesda came in and just said, "Hey, now that we're here, you guys want to do that New Vegas too?" I could see them having maybe done that, but I feel like Avowed is just like. They were set on it, it seems like. So I think that's where we're at.
I could maybe see a New Vegas 2 like 2027 or something like that.
I think Avowed needs to come out, and then they do something else like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we see Avowed. I think we get a big thing about Avowed. David.
All right, next up. So it looks like as of this week, it is formal that Microsoft no longer has any blocks in regards to the Activision Blizzard.
I think we announced, like, we just go for it at the showcase. Say, hey, it's here.
It's here. Here's our plans for integrating Activision Blizzard games into Game
here,
Pass.
And you know what? We love you guys. Bobby Kotick, you're out. On stage.
No, straight up, like that would be a great fucking show of goodwill.
Imagine.
Like, as part of that in my alternate reality, I would love that.
David would literally like go out and buy an Xbox right then and there, just for the sake of it. Just be like, all right, Microsoft, you guys did the cool thing, so I'm gonna go out and just buy an Xbox right now.
Fucking the hilarious part is, honestly, I may genuinely end up buying a second Series X at some point. Because as much as I love my PS5, the Series X gets far more use right now. Again, also partially because of Game Pass, that I'm like, I don't know, maybe
do the Series S.
If it's Game Pass,
dude, it's such a nice little compact fucking console. It's so small and it's so neat to have too, and you could find it for like $150.
Yeah, I might do that because I right now have my old Xbox One S under the TV downstairs in the living room. And that's basically what I'm thinking of replacing, is just throwing one of those guys down there. But
I'd recommend it.
Yeah, it might be just worth getting the Series S.
I back with it. Ooh indeed.
Ooh.
Okay, so Activision officially brought in Kotick out.
David's secret account, they came today.
David came. Okay. Next up. I feel like this has been talked about for a while. I think this is a good time because it's been a minute. I think we do something in the vein of the Master Chief Collection. I think we get the Marcus Phoenix Collection. We get Gears 1, 2, and 3, all looking like that fancy, just like built for this current gen, and looking hot. I think that'd be a fantastic way to pull Gears back into the zeitgeist as they prepare for Gears 6, because Gears 5 came and kind of went. Everyone was like, yeah, it was cool, but we're not really into it. I think you got to bring it back, do it like Master Chief style, Master Chief Collection, bring in the classics, make everyone want to play it again, and then really let the team cook for that 6th one. This is a good little stopgap to give them more time. So I think Marcus Phoenix Collection is happening.
I could see that. I dig the idea.
David, your 4th.
So my 4th, I was very confident on until I saw that they have 2 conferences happening on July 3rd. So I think this is far less likely to happen. But I'm like, you know what? Microsoft has been on a roll with this particular developer. It seems like they've been announcing a lot of their shit there. So I had more Atlas things to come to Xbox. But we'll see what happens. Apparently Atlas has announcements on July 3rd that they're doing. But I could
July or June? July?
July.
I mean,
July
it could
3rd.
be here. They show up here and just say, hey, there's more. We'll show all the rest of it at the Atlas thing.
That's true. It could be like a quick little thing of like, hey, original Persona trilogy, perhaps. Persona 3 remaster that you guys already know.
I'm surprised you didn't. Surprised you didn't think. I'm surprised you just didn't go for it. Say Persona 3 shows up here.
I mean, I still would rather Persona, the original Persona 1 and 2 duology to fucking get life onto a modern platform.
I think that's how you start, though.
Remaster,
that's how we start, though. I think you show more interest in the prior ones. I think people just they'll realize it. Adrian, we start lifting dumbbells like big, thick day, David. I am. Just little by little. We'll get there. So just more Atlas games. Fair.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see some more Atlas shit. Etrian Odyssey just had its HD release. They could announce that that's also coming to the Xbox there.
Okay. 4th. David, what genre is this is thriving this year? We talked a lot about fighting games. You know what fighting game Microsoft has that's been a long time since we've had an entry on now?
Donkey Kong Country.
You're right. Donkey Kong Country coming out. Killer Instinct 2. Yeah. I think Killer Instinct 1 was a success. I don't see why we don't have another one. I think fighting games is still just a hole in Microsoft's array. We have this fucking massive armada of developers. How do we not have a fighting game right now? Fighting games are fucking living right now. You have a whole, like, obviously Microsoft knew about everyone. Like, Microsoft's all publishers are currently aware of everything going on. So it's like they knew Mortal Kombat, they knew Street Fighter, they knew Tekken. You have all these people playing fighting games, so why not give them something next year? Why not give them Killer Instinct?
Yeah, I think it would be wild if they weren't, because what else has Iron Galaxy done since Killer Instinct?
They haven't, and they weren't even on it, right? Because they made it. Well, who made it at first, and then it got kicked off, and someone else took it over?
I'm pretty sure Iron Galaxy is who took over it.
Okay, well, yeah. Either way, someone has not been doing something since then. So,
yeah.
I think it's time, and then you know what? I want to hope that they were testing the idea around with like having Arbiter and General ROM in the fucking
and the Toads there.
Yeah. Now you put Master Chief. Now you put Marcus Phoenix. Let's get them in there. Now you got the icons. Let's go. Like, make Killer Instinct.
It's Senua. Fuck it,
dude. Like, Killer Instinct. We were saying that, like, as Killer Instinct was coming out and doing that, like, dude, this has the potential to be like Microsoft's Smash Bros. On our way, right? Like, Microsoft can just introduce. They have all these characters now. Yo, Joanna Dark and Killer Instinct would be fucking sick.
That'd be great.
Doom Guy, fucking Killer Instinct. Doom Guy.
Banjo.
Banjo. But Doom Guy, legitimately, like, Doom Guy in there. Who's the, why am I blanking on his name? Who's Wolfenstein, dude?
I don't fucking remember.
I forget his name. But like you have all these characters you can pull from, and then if the Activision thing goes on, you just got DLC to go off of. Like, you just create this cast of like Killer Instinct characters and just like make this
Conquer in there.
like no joke. What's up, Zarlos? You can make this an ongoing live service game, just like Tekken 7 was. Make it just like every year you have a new season.
How like Killer Instinct originally was, because that game lived for a good like what 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm. Just make it and just do that. Make yourself a base roster and just every year. Deckard Cain and Killer Instinct.
Yeah, it's true, because with the Activision Blizzard acquisition, fucking that's a whole nother catalog. Tracer and Killer Instinct. Let's go.
Just wanting to kill her ass. Zarya would actually kind of fun if I think about it, though, right? Like you have a bubble where you can't punch it for a second because otherwise you get stronger. That'd be interesting.
With Doomfist.
Dumo.
Dumo mode.
Dumo, yeah, Doomfist in there would be kind of sick. So I was talking about, we're doing Xbox showcase predictions. It's time. Killer Instinct needs to come back. Everyone liked it.
Yeah.
Why do we not have a sequel? All right, David, your final one before we go to your banger and then your acquisition.
All right, so my final one, I think that, again, Microsoft's going to want to go ahead and try to recapture some magic. That's kind of been my theme with my picks, is I feel like Microsoft's going to want to recapture the hearts of everyone. And I think part of what's going to do that is they kind of done this a little bit, but I don't feel like they've had like a full commitment to it since the 360. And I think they're going to go ahead and commit to really being the platform for indies again.
I say for fun.
No, for fun. But I truly feel like they might try to really vie for indie attention. You know, we had Silk Song officially announced after all these years finally on Microsoft's platform. I feel like as much as Switch has really kind of become the console indie darling, Microsoft's really going to try to fight hard for those indie games. And we're going to see an indie showcase. And we're going to really go ahead and see Microsoft invest in more. Because that's not also going to just be, hey, we're putting money into these indie devs to come to our platform. But also, Silksong, day one, you know, fucking here's your Game Pass. Here's your Game Pass for this. And just seeing that kind of Microsoft money really work to enhance smaller studios that wouldn't have a chance otherwise. But also give them that big stage platform.
It kind of is already. There's a bunch of indies constantly going on day one Game Pass. You just don't really hear about it. And there's a lot of really cool ones, but
there's a couple of good ones. But when people think indie games on console
they think
right
of
now,
Switch,
they
right?
Switch, exactly. It's so
no. I'm saying
now.
that. Yeah, it's already there. I imagine maybe the deals are just kind of made last second because it seems like I'm surprised they just don't do it indies on Game Pass day one. The next year, here's your big ones, because there are some really cool indie games that come out like that. I'm like, oh, it looks cool, and it's on Game Pass. I'm like, what the fuck? All right, cool. But the I just imagine being, if I was an indie developer, if Microsoft approached me, just be like, hey, put it on Game Pass. All your worries about what you need to make that first bit to break even, don't think about it. Like, yeah, are you sacrificing some sales for that? Sure, but like, I imagine as an indie developer that having that reassurance to be like, I'm good, like, I'm safe. As soon as this comes out, I'm good. Are you looking at that Kel's comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, Doom Guy versus Diablo would also be sick.
That would be pretty sweet.
But yeah, no, I wasn't like, I can imagine, like, right, am I crazy? Like, I feel like having the idea of like stability, knowing that like when you're launched, you're good. Don't worry about it. Like, you don't have to worry about getting 2 sales and having to advertise and you're just fucked. Like,
and I feel like initially that was something that when Game Pass was first coming around, that some studios talked about even, was the fact that like, oh, we literally didn't have to think about it. They just gave us a sack of cash and we were able to just focus on making the game good.
Which that's how Microsoft's been, which is interesting, right? That was our thing when we talked about that Redfall article last week, was Microsoft's really hands off. They're like, here's money, go. It has backfired on the first party side of it, which they got to start hunkering down on, unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately, I guess, it's like kind of both ends. Hoping they don't overstep, but hoping they manage to be like, hey, you guys got to get your shit together. But indie developers too, it's like, hey, here's your money, just do it. Get it done by like, what do you need? Do you need a year? I need about a year, yeah. Okay, year and a half, get it done. Here's your cash, or maybe there's a bonus like get it done in a year. Here's your cash. But I think that might be it. Was that because indie game development's so chaotic? Is it done next week? Is it done in a year? Is it done in 2 years? Because I imagine that's
never
why.
really done.
Right, like Silksong, literally, that's exactly what happened. It would be out by now. Didn't happen. So it's like that's kind of why they probably gotta be weary about those deals. It's probably why they happened last second. They're probably like, "Are you close to being done? Here's your money." Because otherwise, it's like if you get them the money ahead of time, they'll take forever. I think that's exactly what I imagined happening.
Yeah.
So it's hard to give a showcase because they probably can't have too many indies too far out because they just haven't made those deals. But I think that would be cool for them to start making a thing like, hey, here's all the indie games you play day one. They've always done the whole day one, or like everything on you see on here is on Game Pass, but like I would hope they do something like on the indie side of it. All right. My last prediction. This isn't my showstopper, but I think it has to happen. It's not gonna happen. I just feel like we just need Banjo. We need Banjo. Like we're in a spot where like the cutesy, like colorful, like we don't have anything like that on Microsoft's like first party side really. How is Banjo not a thing right now? Literally, Nintendo gave you all the fucking they did the heavy lifting. You made the deal with Nintendo. Sakurai did his shit. Yeah, Banjo's not that popular of a character right now in Smash Bros. When that shit like popped off, like people still like were like, holy shit, that's crazy. And like he's in, and he has a second thing, but it's been. Can you believe it's been about 4 years now since that happened? So Banjo's been around for 4 years now. We just have not had anything like that. That 4 years is a good enough time span for them to be like, all right, let's talk to every single developer we need to who can do a fucking a 3D platformer at a competent level. Like, good lord. I want to. I would hope Platonic, right? Is the ones that did Ukulele. Yeah. I kind of lumped them in like Bloober, where I think the execution of Ukulele wasn't bad. Just the world just didn't really feel quite lively. I think if you give them Banjo, know what they're working with, then they can make that whole other side of it. They just need to refine their mechanics and just make the world lively, and you got the IP there. I think that'd be fantastic. But like, come on, we just need something on the cutesy side of things, and Banjo's literally it. You either go that or you go Conquer. One of those needs to make a thing. And I feel like Conquer is definitely the one more likely because they've always teased it around in some sort of fashion. I would love Banjo just because I'm like, Banjo's right there. People know him now. Like he's not just like some like what the fuck is that? Like he's in Smash. Once you're in Smash,
there's clearly a demand still for him.
Literally grown men fucking crying in the Nintendo store. my favorite fucking video reaction is like seeing the Nintendo store. I see like one guy holding a Banjo shirt and they just hug. In the middle where they just hug. Like this has to happen. Kel says Banjo's a home run for me too. Always has been. Always. It's probably the only game at this point that would like get me to freak out on a level that I would at this point. Like I'm not that kind of person anymore. You know, I'm too skeptical of video games these days. But like Banjo, I'm in. Like that's just nice to see a return of something, right? Because it's been so long. 2008 since Nuts and Bolts. Which, by the way, Team Nuts and Bolts right here. Tears of the Kingdom.
I never gave it a fair chance.
Tears of the Kingdom's doing the same shit. I understand. You wanted a Banjo game when that game came out. I understand completely. Tears of the Kingdom's doing the same shit, and they're getting accolades for that. Fuck you. If you talk shit on Banjo, Nuts and Bolts, and you like Tears of the Kingdom, fuck you. But I'll forgive you as long as Banjo 3's out. David, what's your? Let's go with your acquisition first.
Acquisition, yeah. My acquisition ties into some of the thoughts we've already discussed. Likewise, I was thinking about the fact that we still haven't really had a consistent fighting game entry from Microsoft. And again, also thinking to the fact that they're also trying to still always work on the Japanese market. I think to go after Eureka.
What do they do again?
They were the ones that did the Street Fighter EX series and the Fighting Layer series.
So that you want just to take a fighting game place and just say, hey, just do fucking Killer Instinct, please, God.
Yeah. Plus, by having the studio that was responsible for a Street Fighter series technically, and then opens further communications about doing extra things with Capcom down the road, be like, maybe.
I can see that.
Maybe.
They only have Tango Gameworks. Is really their only Japanese studio, so that'd be cool. Really quick to go back, Kels, I'm more hyped now about his Smash appearance. Magic is still there for me. I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be smart. I imagine if they saw like a couple, if they hired someone to do Killer Instinct and just acquired them, and said, all right, you're doing good. Let's take you on. That'd be cool. Mine, someone they're kind of working with already. I think because of everything that's been going on with Russia and the war, I think this would be a good time to kind of help them out and take some goodwill and bring them on because it looks so far so good. I want them to talk to GSC Game World, the people making Stalker. I think bring them on, assuming Stalker 2 is looking cherry. Bring them on and work their magic with that. I think it'd be good for them just because they had to stop and figure out that development issue because of that whole war stuff. So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Now, showstopper. I picked something realistic of a showstopper. Like this is the one they're gonna end on. Where are you at?
I went with a realistic pick.
Okay. Well, let's hear what yours is.
So I went ahead and I started off my discussion talking about how they're going to go ahead and have a big showcase of all the things that they announced prior, but just want to give some updates. But when I think of like how Microsoft could have a showstopper way to encapsulate everything, the only thing that came to mind is still something that we got just the faintest glimpse of. We got literally a title card for before we moved on.
Metroid Prime 4.
Get the first. No, yes, Metroid Prime 4 is finally coming to Xbox. No, I think we actually get our first full look at Elder Scrolls 6.
Wow, you're jumping that far ahead, huh?
I think we finally get like alpha gameplay and a trailer to go with it.
You jumped super far ahead of that. I'm not quite there. I am going with another revival. This was a game that was shown off a little while back. It's obviously has problems. I want to hope they got their shit together at this point, but I think we end on Perfect Dark. So I think, again, I think you and I have the same sentiment where it's like, we're at the point, and I feel like I've been saying this for a long time, and I hope I don't keep saying it over and over again, but I'm like, at some point, the games have to come out.
Yeah.
Like, we've made promises. There's the buck has to stop somewhere, and like the games have to come out. I keep thinking it's gonna happen. It doesn't happen. I wanted to say like last year might have been the last year of it because they were doing that whole like let's just really focus on this upcoming year. That way you really come up with the bangers next year. It's scary how silent they've been. But I think it's go time. Like Microsoft put up, like they've always had this idea where they said we want a big game out every quarter. That's always been their thing. Is like every quarter we want like a AAA game out, which can happen. Like they're getting that fucking armada of fucking developers to the point where that can happen.
Yeah.
But when at some point, when does Fable? When does Hellblade? When is Avowed? When is State of Decay 3? We haven't even mentioned. We have and we have all that Bethesda stuff too. I mean, at this point, it should be working on something now, right? Like,
yeah, we're due for either another Doom or Wolfenstein at this point.
So, and maybe Wolfenstein, I think, because I mean we had Doom, but I know Wolfenstein got plagued with that whole shitty ZeniMax issue with, and that's why the New Blood was what it was. So maybe Wolfenstein, but like we need some stuff shown, and at this point you need that, and we need dates. Like that's we need dates or time frames or something. Like I want to say that not even time frames. I would love a date, but like time frames as well, because it was kind of shocking that Spider-Man didn't even have a date. Genuinely, like I'm still a little taken back that I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it just fall? Like, how do we not have a date on that?
I feel like now they're trying to be a lot more cautious about potential things they can't foresee, because we have lived in a post-COVID world where so many people are pissed with every pushback. I think people are more forgiving of a pushback in development when it's more of a nebulous time. They'd be like, oh yeah, September 23rd, we're releasing it then. Never mind, it's gonna now be October 4th. Nope, fuck it, never mind. January 1st now.
Sure, because
Like
games have been getting delayed like about a month nowadays. I could see that,
Yeah.
but it was still I don't know. It being probably the first one I've noticed of that of coming out so soon, but like not having a projected time on it, that was weird. But yeah, I'm glad we're both on that. I don't know Elder Scrolls. I feel like they're kind of I feel like they're hunkered down on Starfield. Like they really needed to get people to like buy in on Starfield, because that's got to be their big game, and you can't show that off again either, because you've already shown that off a lot.
That's why I think it'll be rolled into just basically being like a final, like even potentially just a final trailer or final show off of things before it's released. But that's why I can't think it can end on Starfield, or they
It's
can
not
put
ending
too
on
much
Starfield. You
emphasis.
can't. So I think what happens
Or
is they
not.
show a trailer, and I think they just do a Starfield showcase closer to launch.
Yeah.
Which Starfield also, that's going to be another.
And that's the thing is I think Elder Scrolls is the only thing at this point that they can be like guaranteed investment from everyone, and people would just kind of forgive them for a lot of shit for.
Right. I think this is pretty high stakes for Xbox. I think Redfall really hampered things. I it's weird because like it's not Microsoft's fault, but it kind of is too. It's like you guys should have saw it.
Yeah.
It sucks, right? Like
It's still under your watch. Like
it's
ultimately.
under your watch. Arcane's a trusted developer. You wanted to assume that everything that they did was fine, but you were two hands off. Like when the company employees were saying like, we wished you guys would have canceled the game, that says something.
Yeah.
But like that's not a show of bad faith. That's still like a show of naivety when it comes to approaching these things. But it's a good faith naivety, right? Because it's scalebound, Microsoft just can't just come out and just doesn't want to just come canceling games left and right. They especially Arcane. Arcane has that has that platinum games feel of it, where it's like this is a developer that everyone likes, like the mass majority of games for. You can't just come in and cancel their game.
And especially off the heels of Deathloop, which I mean was in the contention for so many Game of the Year.
Yeah, like, when people are thinking like high off, like, oh, they can't do anything wrong, right? Spoilers, they can. The same thing with fucking Platinum, they can. Still gonna die on that fucking hill. Scalebound deserves to be gone, but it sucks that they gotta do that now. But like you have so many people on there, you can't just let everyone run free will and just like assume the best of it. You'll have Double Fine that. Double Fine's been like, yeah, it's been fantastic, just letting us do our own thing, which is cool. But like not every studio is small and as like nimble as Double Fine to do whatever they need to do, right? Like they'll do what they do and they'll come out, whether like in time, but it'll come out and it'll be fine. You can't trust that for every single one. So this is, I think Sony, from the internet consensus, dropped the ball. I didn't mind that particular case at all, honestly. Like I didn't mind it at all, but the internet fucking hated it. So really, like it's Microsoft's court right now to really go in, because it's true. Sony only has Spider-Man 2, really. That's all you're going up against. Granted, Spider-Man 2 is going to be a banger, but like that's 100% a win. Again, that's all your competition. That this is a season you can win, especially with Starfield if it comes out and it's not fucked up, which
It will be, but
it will be. But like the fact they delayed it is giving me a
there's
little bit
only
of hope.
so much they can do, though. It's again the same at this point now. What 13-year-old fucking engine?
Right.
There's only so much they're able to do.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm on both ends of that, where it's like a lot of engines we do have that run really good games are fuck old, but like they just constantly keep iterating them.
Every fucking Bethesda game has been a glitchy, buggy mess.
I agree. So like I say, but the fact that it got delayed says a lot to me, I think, in a good way. So I'm hoping that comes out, but this is really a big one for Microsoft. So I'm hoping they push it pretty hard. But yeah, we'll see. On On that note, before we start taking off, 'cause I think this is a nice little short episode. What do you hope to see at the Capcom?
What do I hope to see at Capcom? I'd like some kind of like big surprise announcement, just something out of left field. You know, give us a new Phoenix
Code
Wright
Veronica.
Yes, give us a Code Veronica remaster. Have that be the next one. But I'd like to see a new Phoenix Wright. I feel like we've gotten a lot of remasters of Phoenix Wright games and a lot of Phoenix Wright collections. We're still missing a few. We need that
Edgeworth.
Apollo Justice stuff.
And Edgeworth.
Yeah, and the Edgeworth games.
We got one.
Need those still.
But we don't need that. We need like on place we can play now, but we never even got two.
Yeah.
So
and Dual Destinies, if I remember correctly, which was a huge deal because it was Apollo and Phoenix was a digital only back in the day. We need a physical of that still. So it's one of those things. I would like to see something more with Phoenix Wright come around. Beyond
Mega
that,
Man. You think we're getting some Mega Man finally?
No, I mean Mega Man 11 wasn't that long ago.
But like, we've been getting a lot of do that remaster for Battle Network, or the Battle Network collection. Do you think we're getting something in that vein?
We've already had basically everything but other side games now, unless we're gonna get like fucking Mega Man Soccer remastered or some shit.
No, I'm saying not remastered, but are we getting like a new one?
Absolutely not. I don't think we're gonna get a new one. I guarantee you what happened is it came out, the niche audience that really enjoyed it bought it, and then Capcom went, oh, that wasn't what we wanted in sales, and then
it sold out a lot. At the first wave of the first print sold out. A Battle Network.
If it were me running Capcom, and I was gonna be like, you know what, here's what we need to do for the Mega Man fans. You know what I would do?
Fat Mega Man in Street Fighter 6.
Exactly. Fat American Mega Man and Street Fighter 6. Bring him back. No, straight up, Legends 3. Fuck it. At this point, here's your Legends collection, your Legends duology, and then also, by the way, we got a surprise for you. Fucking here's Legends 3, assholes.
What do you think is the most profitable brain dead thing that Street Fighter, or not Street Fighter, but like Capcom could be doing, but
another
has not
Monster
done?
Hunter game.
But no, but it hasn't. Like, is it goodwill? Like, why have you not done this? This is so smart and actively financially beneficial. Like, think of it like the corporate heads that always hate doing anything. What could they be doing? What's their one thing where they're like, what the fuck have we not done? That's what I think Killer Instinct is. I'm like, how can we not do that?
That on consoles. This on an actual fucking console and PC release. Give us all the Marvel games.
The Marvel vs. Capcom collection.
Marvel vs. Capcom collection. All the way from X-Men Children of the Atom to fucking Marvel Infinite. Here you go on your current gen consoles, the entire fucking
netcode
saga.
is spicy and everything in there.
I wouldn't even expect netcode for all the games. Just give it for Marvel 2, Marvel 3 Ultimate, and fucking Infinite. Just give those 3 games fucking netcode. That's all I'd want to have it. Fuck it.
And how much of the Capcom collections have been like, what, $40?
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
I can totally see, like, they could do this in Charter for 60 for sure.
Fuck it. I guarantee you, they announced it at 70. People would fucking eat it up.
I want to say that that's such an easy idea. I'd assume it's Disney that's being an asshole about it.
Oh, 100% it's gotta be Disney that's causing the block for it. But that is the easy thing. So I remember that was the big thing that they even said when it came to these cabinets, is because this fell under a toy per se, Disney was a lot more lenient about the idea.
You ever gonna mod it?
Maybe. I still go back and forth. There's a part of me that I know this is not an original cabinet in any way, shape, or form. And I know that's not the original ROMs on there. It's still emulation. But there is a weird part of my brain that kind of likes the experience of it. So it basically kind of falls into that category of maybe I'll give it a couple of years and see how I still feel about it. If it's still going for like a huge chunk of cash in a couple of years, I'll leave it original and then I'll probably get like a shit Street Fighter cab or something and renovate that or just build one. And by I'll just build one, I mean I'll have my fiance just build me one at some point because she is the craftsman around here. I am very not.
But do you have any mod the sticks or anything?
If it retains value, no. 100% if it retains its value, I will leave it completely original, just so that way if I ever need to offload something to make cash, here you go. Here's the complete original thing. There you go.
Because I would want to do that. If I bought that, I'd want to. I know the sticks are not like they're good, but they're not like
great. They're fine.
They're fine.
The buttons are the worst.
Yeah.
I would 100% if I do mod it, the very first thing I'm doing is not only changing the buttons, but changing the spacing of the buttons. The button spacing is so cramped.
Well, everything about that is cramped. Like it should be like the 4-player one where it's like outwards, because you need room. You don't want to be fucking like. It logistically doesn't even make sense because one player is literally playing center to the screen, the other one's offside. But whatever. They're cool to have though. Like it's still, I'm still jealous of that cabinet. I want to get into a fighting game one soon.
I mean, it's a great cabinet. In the grand scheme of things, I enjoy it. I've gotten use out of it. Every time I have someone over, it's a fun little novelty to bust out and we all crowd around it. But
That's how I feel with these things, but they're just so fun to have. It looks so cool. Year
truly,
later,
if there is ever a day they do a House of the Dead one, that would be the only other one that would make me go, fuck, I need it.
I'm thinking of that Time Crisis one still.
I mean, I love me some Time Crisis, but it's not House of the Dead.
That's fair. I don't know, dude. They had that Killer Instinct one for $150 at Best Buy like about a month or so ago.
Ooh.
If I missed it, I didn't even notice. I had my phone on silent or something. Or I was asleep or something. But it was a miss price too. So like it was supposed to be like $300, but it was $150. $300 is still not a bad one, but like $150, I would have like that's a I'm good.
No-brainer. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I buy that tomorrow. And I would have. So I got bummed out. I missed that, but they canceled a lot of orders. But they let some slip through. I'm like, fuck. $150 for any of these? And you can give me a cabinet for like $150. I might just like toss it in there and go for that.
Yeah.
Different genre. I almost bought that Blitz one. I'm still kind of. I'm half and half. I'm bummed I missed the Blitz one, but also like. I got a sports one already. I got NBA Jam. I want different genres. I don't want two of the same because these aren't played enough for me to like warrant having too much of that. And these are going to be a pain in the ass to move whenever I do move someday.
Yeah, there was someone that was selling an NFL Blitz one for 125, and I was so tempted. But,
you should have done
like,
that. That's a good.
It's one of those things that like I liked playing it back in the day, but am not like a big person into that all around.
But they're cool.
Like,
You know what though, David? Though, like you have one cabinet back there.
Yeah.
When you get two,
that's all I have room for.
I know, but when you get two, they look fucking crispy.
Because here's the thing, is I'm almost out of shelf space.
No, I get that. Like I'm of the same too. I know.
For the audience. So I have between that shelf and that one over there, I have 5 equivalent shelf spaces to go ahead and use. I have my consoles and whatnot that I have actively in use over there, right? And then the rest of them are all in that closet over there.
Oh, he muted himself. Muted. Let's see.
Is it working now?
There you go.
All right. So as I was saying, I actually finally bit the bullet. I didn't get a full 42U server rack like I wanted, but I did get a 25U server rack. And I'm legitimately going to go ahead and where that bookshelf is that I showed off there. I'm going to put that server rack there. And I'm just going to have all my consoles in a fucking server rack. And then move that bookshelf over there so that way I could have room for one more bookshelf to put games on.
See, I need like one more bookshelf, but I'm like also I don't want visually like I'm more of the aesthetic type. Like I have the collection, right? But like I want to show off in a cool way that looks like really cool to me, like something that I want to stand in. And like having the games there is cool, but like I want more than that. So like could I like use that room for bookshelf to like have my full collection out? And like on top of like all the pop figures or like the other like figurines I have, sure. But fucking when you dude, walking into this room, everyone fucking thinks this is so fucking dope when you just walk in and see like 3 arcade cabinets right there. Because once you get like one, I just personally I can't have one. That's why I didn't buy these things at first. I'm like I can't do that. But the $200 Simpsons, I'm like yeah, I'm there. And then I saw like that, and then I saw $200 Ridge Racer. I'm like, well, Simpsons looking mighty lonely right there, just being the one. Why not have? And it just looks cool. So I think like 4, maybe 5 is like my sweet spot where it's like that's it. I don't want any other one. You can give me like the best arcade ever after that. I don't want any more.
Yeah.
I look at a lot of those videos online of people with a lot of the arcade one-ups, and at some point it looks crowded. I'm not about that. There's some that look like really cool arcades. Like, okay, there's a cool layout, but then ones where it's like, I get why people might like them, where it's like you're walking into like a nook and cranny and you have to kind of like duck and weave and go around like all these figures everywhere, and that's too much. That's like clutter and like I don't know. I feel like kind of a dick about it. I feel like I'm critiquing when I'm watching those videos, but I'm like no, that there's times where it's like you got to have some breathable area to make everything look good, and if it's too jam packed, it just feels like clutter.
Yeah. There is actually one other. So aside from House of the Dead 2, which would be an instant buy for me, there is one other cabinet that would probably be an instant buy for me. If Neo Geo went ahead and did an MVS cabinet with them, that would probably be it, because then you could have King of Fighters, fucking Metal Slug, and Samurai Showdown, and a whole bunch of shit all in one cab like that.
I've thought of the Altered Beast one every now and then, but yeah, no, I'm like I
like Altered Beast, but that game, once you get good at it, you can beat in 10 minutes. So it's not really.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but I just think these are cool to have. Like they just look always so cool, and I like when friends can just kind of mess around them for a little bit. The 2 most popular ones are Ridge Racer and then the Simpsons Bowling. Everyone likes doing those ones. But yeah, I do need to reorganize my living room. I was thinking about that the other day. Because like the way I have it, I want to right now like all my board games like in the kitchen, which is weird-ish. I don't know, it's weird, but I don't know. I filled up this whole apartment. That's the issue, and that's why I've been like not investing, and that's why I don't buy really, and like even like the Scott Pilgrim Collection Edition, that's it right there on the ground in the corner. I just don't. I don't collector editions. I don't really do anymore.
I've slowed down a lot on them, unless it's something where it's like I have one coming in at the end of the week, and it's just because the collector's edition is the same price as it would have been for the regular game. So it's like, all right, may as well. So yeah,
that's different. But I'm talking about like when you're like getting the statues. I don't want some more statues. I'm over the statues. Like in fact, if anything, I love my Overwatch ones, but like if I get more helmets, like I want this to be a helmet wall. Aside from the gauntlets are fine. I get that, but like I want this to be a helmet wall. So it's like if I can get rid of those things and get for a good price and replace them with like a Dead Space helmet or Daft Punk helmets or stuff like that, I do that. But like yeah, I'm super over the figures. I don't want any more figures. Pops, I don't want any more pops. I've been over the pops for a good minute now. In fact, I still have my box of pops, and like the more and more I think about it, I'm like I just kind of want to take them all to get sold off and just keep like 10. Keep 10. Show them somewhere, like keep my Mega Man ones, my BoJack ones, kind of those are very expensive. Even the Cuphead ones, I'm like kind of I was collecting Cuphead for a long, but I just I even like looking at this, a small part of me is like I kind of want to space it down so you could see the stuff that matters, right? Because when I got like when you got like Soldier right in the middle, and he's blocking off like some of my 3DS games that are worth more than him. I'm like, but I don't know. Right now, I'm not unhappy with it. I'm like, that's fine, but do not want to add anything else. There was a long time, like 3 or 4 years ago, where I'm like, yeah, I want more statues, I want more big figures, but I definitely don't want any more at this point. Helmets are cool. I think I think the photo, whenever I take a photo, I always take this, and you got the helmets in the background. That's like the picture everyone loves. The helmets look good. The arcades look good. That's all I want.
You really need a Mega Man helmet.
I do.
I knew you had like the PJ one, but I didn't think you had like an actual helmet. Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, right there. I didn't. That was the one. So Capcom, when they came up with that one, it was in the store, and I pre-ordered it. It was like $275. Pre-ordered it, and then the credit card that I used on, I forget what happened to it. It got like canceled or something like that. And then I asked Capcom, like, hey, I pre-ordered on this. Is there a way to transfer that? There's no way to transfer it. Sorry, so it's like a cancel. I'm like, oh, that sucks. And they still shipped it.
All right.
Shout outs. But yeah. There you go. Good little hour and a half ish podcast. Somehow, some way. I don't know how we did that.
Keeping it simple and clean there.
Yeah. What are you doing after this, David?
I am doing server work, honestly, after this.
Shit, I want to play some Street Fighter. All right, well, that's the stream then. I'll be on for these streams. David might hop on once he gets home and settled in. We'll see how that goes. But otherwise, remember, next week we'll be recording on Tuesday as well for a little while. Games Gone By. Go follow at Games Gone By on Twitter. I can say that for sure. We still have that Twitter, and I'll be posting up the full schedule along with live dates of each episode as well. And anything else on there? I don't think so. Yeah, no, we're good. Thanks for listening. Fuck it. I don't know. I was trying to think I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Eat your meat frequently.
Have a good one. See you, Kels.